Alrighty, this is Deuce with People News. Okay, not an attorney, not giving legal advice. Hearsay, videos hearsay. Do your own research. Okay, not educational purposes only, y'all. For y'all to think outside the box. Why? Because we never look straight forward. We always look around us, be able to protect ourselves by any means necessary. And we got to use the Second Amendment, arm ourselves with knowledge. Okay, so we have a few videos up here, and I'm going to break it down in the next couple of videos. And the reason why is because more lines of the information arrest. Okay, officers supposed to investigate and be able to get probable cause, and never really give you enough for probable cause, but arrest you under information. All right. So, how did that even get started? All right, or really increased in history? So, I don't remember what year it is. You guys send a comment if you know, if you recognize this. So there's a young boy, I believe he was 12, but he could have been 14, in Russia that became a national hero. Why? Because he called in an officer telling officers that his dad was talking bad crap about communism in Russia at that time, which, by the way, there was communism. Okay? But by information, them officers came, drug him out of the house, and they killed that young man's dad. And then turned around. Russia made that young man became a national hero. And he became a national hero by information for officers to kill his dad. That is a sad state of affairs of history. Okay? So, many years later, in America, all right, we had this thing called 9/11. And this information really started growing out there. But what do we actually call it today? Okay? We call it, we see something, geez. If you see something, say something. Okay? So, during 9/11, we cannot let crisis go to waste. So Bush, all right, and all the other people in government say, hey, let's decide to be communism. And we'll just promote out there under the guise of public safety. That way they were willing to waive their rights, like get on an airplane without being frisked and fondled upon and molested by the agencies in the airport. Okay? But, hey, we're going to take naked pictures of y'all and call it for your safety. So, even though prior we had, call and you'll get money if it leads to arrest and this, that, here, and there. What was that? Right? It was information. And then the cops would go investigate you and all this kind of stuff. Disrupt your peace. Whether it's true or false, it don't really matter. The extended consequence was itself the information by hearsay. And after that 9/11, like I said, it grew financially. I mean, just bloated out there. And they took that guideline out of that book from Russia I am led to believe and do believe. However, I am not a mind reader. Okay, I don't know what is going through their tiny little brains because we can't think in a criminal aspect, most of us, right? We stay in that fine line. So, I just wanted to kind of point out some things out there in history that kind of led us into one direction, and then for public safety, it led us into another direction. And for public safety, we waive our rights, which goes back into the founding fathers, right? And they warned us about that. Now, that being said, let's do this right quick.
There's an arrest with a warrant, then there's already been a determination of probable cause. A judicial officer has already determined that there is probable cause to make an arrest. Most arrests that happen are arrests without a warrant. And in that case, the officer is the only one who thinks that a crime exists. They're the one who's making the determination, and they're doing that because they've been statutorily granted authority if they witness a crime. But they don't know what a crime is. They think everything's a crime.
Right.
And because they think everything's a crime, they think that they can arrest anyone for any time for any reason. And because we don't know what the requirements are in a warrantless arrest, and we don't know how to keep them accountable, they just keep doing it. If there's an arrest with a warrant, then...
Right? So, let's jump to this one.
Fun fact.
Of course, we're going to go ahead and have a commercial break.
What if the very institution tasked with upholding the Constitution was the one undermining it? A rather unsettling thought, isn't it? The role of the judiciary, specifically the Supreme Court, in safeguarding our Constitution has been a subject of intense debate throughout history. Let us journey back in time to the era of Chief Justice Taney. His decision in the infamous Dred Scott v. Sandford case, where he posited that African Americans weren't considered people, sent shockwaves throughout the nation. This decision was a direct contradiction to the spirit of the Constitution, which seeks to uphold equality and justice for all. Fast forward to Chief Justice Waite's tenure, and we see the ratification of the 14th Amendment, a beacon of hope intended to reverse the Dred Scott decision and unify the concept of citizenship. But alas, even this momentous occasion was marred by Waite's decision to rehash Marshall's theory of limited privileges and immunities within states from the Barron v. Baltimore case, effectively undermining the essence of the 14th Amendment. Speaking of Chief Justice Marshall, his ruling in the Barron v. Baltimore case in 1833 set a dangerous precedent, limiting the privileges and immunities of citizens within states. This decision, although made decades ago, continues to taint subsequent court rulings, creating a cascade of unconstitutional decisions. Our judicial system ideally should be procedurally based, ensuring uniformity in the treatment and protections afforded to every individual accused of a crime. However, the reliance on flawed precedents, as opposed to the Constitution itself, has resulted in a system that seems to favor certain interests over justice. This pattern raises a crucial question. To whom do the judges swear their oath? To the Constitution or to the precedents set by their predecessors? The repercussions of these dubious decisions are far-reaching, affecting every American in one way or another. Lives have been ruined, families torn apart, and countless innocent individuals have been wrongfully accused, all due to the judiciary's reluctance to correct its past mistakes. Yet there's an opportunity to change, to reflect on the role of the judiciary in upholding constitutional rights, to scrutinize the decisions of the past and demand better from our present, to acknowledge the human cost of judicial indifference and strive for a system that truly embodies the principles of justice, equality, and liberty. This call to action isn't just about demanding accountability from our judiciary. It's about standing up for the principles that our Constitution represents. It's about fighting for justice, compassion, and equity. It's about standing for love instead of hate, forgiveness instead of vengeance. So take a moment today to reflect. Consider the role of the judiciary in upholding our Constitution and our rights. And ask yourself, if we don't stand up for justice, who will?
Alrighty. So I'm gonna kind of keep this one short because we're going to do a couple of other videos to follow up with this. So this is going to be part 1. Alright? People, think about things. Okay? Just saying. Till next time, Decent We the People News. Bye, y'all.